And then we played some Nightreign.
We played some Nightreign. Where are we dropping, boys? So there were a lot of things I thought about Nightreign, but that I want to get into right before we get into Nightreign, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And that Nightreign beta was limited.
Yes.
It was highly limited. It was limited in scope, in time, and in features.
4 characters is definitely not the release count, you know.
Yeah, but you always dropped in at the same basic place in the full game. You're going to be dropping in at like the random arcs.
Different arcs and such.
And the terrain regeneration, the terrain randomization is not in, or was not in, that network test at all.
So they said that there's going to be procedural effects to the world. I don't know that it's going to change the map in terms of like locations of building structures and like valleys and peaks. I think it's more about like, this is a poison area, this area is burning now, this area has a storm going through it.
So what they said is that the physical geography of the map would not change. Hills, valleys,
right,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what would be physically placed on the map would change, and that would be buildings.
Camps.
But it wasn't clear if they meant castles or if they meant like small structures or camps.
Yeah.
But that swamps, storms, etc. would vary it up, so you could not rely on your existing knowledge on every run.
So I got a session in before we started. We did our session that we streamed.
You get one afterward?
And I got one afterwards.
Yeah.
And that afterwards one was a really good one. Like,
oh yeah. Did you get so one of the interesting things that we got was that 2 of my guys disconnected in the last run that we did, and I got to actually play Nightreign in the solo mode. And it was very cool because we found out how they're going to do it. Bosses will not spawn the fucking ads they have for the extra players, and the monster health will decrease.
Damage reduction
accordingly to what it's like. Okay, that's exactly how we thought it was going to work. And that felt awesome. Did you get a run like that, or you're all like clean 3 people?
I didn't get a solo run. I got a 2-person like extended run for a while, where that last time around, knowing how to play more, I got a lot further. I got to the end of day 2 on a 2-person run, and then I got a clean clear with 3.
Oh, you got a clear? I
got a clear, and I have learned quite a good bit since that first session. So I was going to say,
tell me more.
Yeah, so the session we went through the different classes, got a feel for them. The overall feeling of holy fuck, go is not just the game design, but also the fact that the demo is on the clock and you have your 3-hour window.
It's a really, really specific clock.
Yeah, and it takes like, again, like you can die quickly, but at least it's going to take about 20 minutes before the run is done, you know, like you're committing. So the Wilder, you know, the kind of just your default sort of starting character, very like solid, safe choice with rolls and
normal man,
you know, a generous ass buckler parry, grapple out of the way, and big fucking exploding punch ult, you know. Very solid starting weapon as well. Overall distribution is kind of endurance and strength based, or rather just balanced more than anything, I'd say. Guardian is more strength and endurance based, right? Because he's
a big boy,
and you've got the walk and poke, you know, with the shield and extra stance.
I believe he's the largest playable character in From Software history, like in height.
I guess so. If the custom characters can't,
he is enormous,
go beyond that their thresholds. Yeah, and in a game with tons of mobility and with the ability to fly up and slam down and shit, like it really ends up just feeling like FromSoft. Well, I called it arcade mode, right? It feels like hyper.
Yeah.
This is a Marvel versus Capcom version of this game. With a if you've got an hour and you want to get some souls in you and you're not too concerned about lore, you just want to get a run on some bosses, kind of like what people do. Essentially, I feel like it's like FromSoft is like the things that people mod the game to get quick enjoyment out of on multiple replays. They're like, why don't we put that out?
Well, that is literally the exact phrase from this game's director was, we were watching a lot of speed runs and randomizers, and we were like, well, what if we did that? What if we had a version of the game that was like a really fast run, but it was also randomized?
So the second character I started using and did the run with was the Recluse, who is essentially, you know, Ranni the Witch style character. And yeah, her whole thing is she's got shards, she's got the wave, you know, casting spells, and then as you run out of FP, you're gonna like kind of grab the damage out of the air, and it'll stock 1 pip of a certain ingredient, combine 3 to cast a spell, and then the not randomized, but the ingredients, you have to memorize all different types of combinations to know what that means. It's a really fun and interesting way to sit in the back and kind of like support. But what's interesting too about those builds is that, like, if you pick up a weapon that you want to use, regardless of what your intended character is, you can still swing it around.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, use it.
Levels are going to be like, hey, you got to get to at least level 9 before you can use this special weapon. But, like, if you pick up a greatsword as the, you know, the Recluse, and you have the right level requirement, fuck it, you can use that, you know? So they're not doing any things where, like, your build needs to have, it's like, oh, you can only use magic and light dex weapons or so. They're not restricting you out of that. So you can change your game up a lot.
I think better than that is even like, I picked up the bird poker on my last run, and it's like I couldn't use it for almost my whole run, but it gave me 10% of my fucking life back when I killed anything, even when it was not in my fucking hand.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, no, that's worth
that
it.
Refund
just keep
is
that
great.
on the fucking character. It's a third accessory slot.
Yeah. And so, and it turns out like some of the buffs that go on your weapons, even if they're in your pockets, they still apply, right? So that's a huge deal for your build. Even if you,
I would like it if they would put that forward in the next game, because I hate having multiple weapons equipped, but they all take the same equip load. Like, can I be the equip load of my shit when I switch to the fucking item that's on my hand, please?
Right, yeah. I mean, there's that. But then you also, of course, run the risk of turning every other weapon slot into a ring, essentially.
Yeah, good. Fucking sick.
Just put 5 rings on and have.
Let's do it.
But what I got around to, you know, on the last run was the Duchess, who, glass cannon, boy do you die. You basically take 1 hit and you're done. She has like no life to start with, and you get that double dash, right? I apologize for not taking that character seriously. She's fucking incredible, and she's
is it the double dodge that does it?
No, it's the time rewind ability, the ghost call.
Oh yeah,
right. That thing is phenomenal, and like we were just not seeing anyone using it properly, right? And on top of that, I picked up a I forgot what it's called, but those boons that you equip before the run that are like permanent,
right,
changing
the trinkets,
yes,
whatever the fuck you want to call them.
So I put on a trinket that was at the end of a light combo. You get a free restage.
Oh, that's
so.
That's
the last hit.
This is Marvel.
Yeah, the last hit of the quick combo causes the ghost to just to restage all that damage, whatever was going on. So I fucking put that thing on and just go to work, and it's unbelievable because like you get that going constantly, and then you back off and you wait for your team to do anything like clutch, and any really good play, bomb, like let's go, let's double it up, you know?
Yeah.
I also had another like trinket that was plus to how fast my ult regains, you know?
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of moments where you're just getting mobbed by way too many and then going invisible just to get a couple of backstabs in a row, you know, and then restaging them. She's so fucking good. By the end,
it feels like the game is going to be extra mean because they're going to give you this level of ability juice.
Yeah, I switched to other weapons a couple times, and I was like, no, she works best with this fast deck stab. and anything slower than that is like going against, because she has to stick and move, you know. And I went back to the default dagger for the whole run, you know. At a certain point, I picked up like another like rapier, and I was like, okay, this is kind of fast. But that and the the iframes off of the double dodge, you know, are just fantastic, man. So yeah, like getting to day 3, did you get to see any footage of it?
I am watching footage of day 3 right now while you're talking.
Because day 1 is, you know, it's that first environment we all run through, your Limgrave-like area. Day 2, same area, but like the bosses get harder, everything gets a bit more aggressive, takes more damage, etc. But day 3, you just get teleported to a brand new final location.
Which is a big old boss fight.
Big old desert area. And that boss fight is the 3-headed...
Wow, that's a cool fucking... Whoa,
3-headed... you get that 3-headed Cerberus, and you're fighting it together, and then it does its big tail whips and stuff, and then splits into 3, and then you fight each of you fights ahead before it eventually comes back together, you know? It's a lot of fun to kind of have those, like, split boss fight moments, because there's the heroes of I forgot of the fort area and such, where you're like, there's a couple bosses where there's like, oh, there's 3 of them here for you each to take one. It's a race almost. Go, you know. The little duders, the little doot spheres, you each go fighting one. That's a lot of fun, you know. And I kind of was able to just piece together, like, yeah, those trinkets are massively game changing, hugely incredible abilities on those. Some of the things that some of the strategies involved, like we were fighting against the 3 knights, for example, that were in the forest at the end of day 2, really, really like tough. But like one of the guys I was playing with hung back and kept a bow specifically for when someone would die. He'd drop a warming stone and then just bow and arrow your body from a distance.
That's smart.
Instead of going into the shit, you know, they just like, and you just like, oh yeah, you just bow and arrow from a distance, get you back up, and then use that warming stone opportunity to heal at the same time, you know? Little strats you kind of see coming together, working out really well like that. And like, yeah, obviously like looking for syncing up with people's ults and restaging them. It really was just it was a lot of fun to kind of see the full pace of that stretch out. Your ability to withstand the rain as well. Like I did one run with some risky, crazy dude that was like, yeah, I'm going to run into the rain and like get the stuff.
There's stuff there.
That's worth it. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so by flying into the rain a couple times, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to follow. Like you've got it down. You go in and it's like, yeah, you know what? Almost dying, but getting an extra Estus sip is worth it. Hit that church up.
Yeah, no, that's definitely...
Hit the second church up, you know?
Definitely super worth it.
And by the end, we were, like, coordinated enough that, like, fighting a boss, like, and just, like, ganking it from all sides and, like, staggering into staggering. It's like, oh, no, we can take this boss out in about 15 seconds if we just go hard, you know?
If you get those good items and all that good synergy, yeah, absolutely. Like that lightning thing that I got, which is just, hey, roll and a lightning bolt fucking AoEs the fucking zone.
Roll and you get a lightning bolt. Zapping is one of them. Yep. Slow walk to get what was it?
The arcane rain.
Rain going. And one that I picked up, and we saw it initially and didn't quite know what we were looking at. Whatchamacallit, summon swords.
Oh yeah,
summon swords is actually a post boss buff that is every couple of seconds they'll regenerate.
It's so good.
You're not casting them; they just right carrying great swords or what? Not great swords, whatever. Phalanx blades,
swords or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. They just resummon every couple seconds on their own. Those passives are the best I've ever seen.
I saw one in, I just checked out somebody's footage of them fighting the final boss, and they had one where hitting dash causes a giant ice explosion.
Yes, I got that one too.
That stays in place for like 10 seconds and causes frostbite.
Yep.
That's so good.
Yeah, yeah, I got that. You start sprinting and you get Hoarfrost explosion right at the start of that.
That's so good.
You know, just these we like. I don't know that like they're gonna. Those are your run winners essentially. You get one of those and you're like, oh, I have a fantastic fucking chance here to build around that ability. Because it's free extra damage. It's like you know what I mean? It's like another party member just hanging out. In a lot of cases, doing normal actions you would otherwise regularly be doing, but they just cause extra damage to whatever's near you. Hades buffs, yeah, man.
I would like them to put this game out and for it to be good, and then I would like them to put an expansion out every year until there is a new Souls game.
I mean, they don't have to treat it like that. They can treat it they can update it even more frequently, you know? Every couple months they can drop us some shit for it.
Give me more, though. Like, I didn't even get to the final boss of that network test, and I'm already being like, give me more, though. Just put every single asset you've ever made into this.
I free. Easy, super easy to do. Affordable as well. They don't have to spend too much extra money on the implementation there, you know. Do what all the modders have been doing, including dropping characters from the wrong game into and just letting it work. What was I gonna say though? Yeah, the one thing though is just that, like, again, it's scratching an itch. It's not going to be the same itch as fucking I want to do a run. Like
absolutely not. And the number one itch that it doesn't scratch is I would like to explore an interesting new area in a From Software game.
What it actually does is like that, hey, you know what? Let me load up some Apex right now. Or what, you know what I mean? Like one of those games, like
absolutely.
It's I've been
wanting a game that uses this system forever.
Yeah, it's taking over the where we drop in itch. More than anything Souls related, and you know, for sure the last day as well, like not the last day rather, but the Sunday, like a lot of people queuing in for those games as well were like, okay, we know that what I called happened, where people were just pinging the same areas going like, yep, we're going to hit the church, we're going to drop in, we're going to open that chest, we're going to take out that crucible or the perfumer, we're going to go up, turn around, there's going to be some good shit inside the treasure chest out there, hop up over the castle, make our way to the rise. Once you go to the rise, drop back down, go to the next church, get your sip, fight the dragon. You'll probably get by that point the rain's going to come in, chase the rain back to the camp, jump over the camp. If you have time, you can fight the misbegotten. If otherwise, go up to the top, take out that first boss, day one clear, and you got some good shit for it. That
optimization is important to ruin with randomizing the map just enough that that doesn't work anymore. And instead, it just becomes, do I have time to get to this next spot? Yes, go. Hopefully there is something we can deal with there.
And, you know, it would also be interesting to see characters get introduced that, like, really fucked with the system. For example, like someone that was like, actually, I can survive on my own without helping you guys. You know, I have like an ability to create a bubble in the rain, or you know what I mean, or some sort of like survivability where I'm going to go off and get things that you guys don't have, or create. I mean, there's already like those trinkets I mentioned. Create unique goals. For example, getting a stone sword key and opening up an Everjail gives you a huge buff. But you have to accomplish that goal first.
It's interesting because, like, you know, obviously everybody's going to be way more effective if they team up, do 3v1 on these bosses. But if everybody splits up, that means you are tripling the possibility that everybody gets the really good accessory that they want.
That's it, right? And or whatever the goals might be. I had a game as well where one of the game where we cleared it. One of the people I was playing with became essentially a support class that didn't exist. They became a perfumer that would shield us.
Oh, right.
And would heal us and would work together and used shopping and abilities to do support group shit, you know, when none of the 4 classes are dedicated towards doing that right now. You know, there's passive abilities that kind of help pick your friends up, and there's a things where you can get a trinket that says every time you sip your Estus, if people are near you, they get a healing as well.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff,
good.
right? There's little things.
That's good.
Yeah, there's little things like that. But like someone going, I'm gonna buy stuff that generally supports the group and buffs the group, and enchantments that do that as well. Like you have a whole other type of class you've built yourself into. So yeah, the ability to have the freedom to do that type of shit as well with the characters is awesome.
I agree with chat. I think that either this game's final boss or maybe a hidden boss that you need to fulfill certain conditions with should be like White Glint or Rusty.
Something AC just drops in.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
do it. Fucking do it.
Suddenly, just your computer's voice, like that guy, I forgot her name, but she just like that dialogue starts kicking in.
No, you know what it should be? It should be fucking Laughing Hyena. It should be fucking Patches.
I mean, that's free. Patches is going to be there. There's no chance that he's not. The only question is Patches going to be playable practically?
Yeah, that might be true.
Because you can take NPCs that are like, beloved characters and make them playable. There's no reason why not. They have simplified movesets. You have 3 things each character can do. You can take anyone that was standing around as a main character in those games and go for it. That would be super sick. But yeah, no, or even like I can see that being a sort of like DLC thing where it's like you want to play Patches, we have the Patches fucking playable thing.
I think it's absolutely insane that after all these years of saying when's Capcom going to come out with Capcom versus Capcom, that From Software came out with From Software versus From Software first.
Yeah, I mean,
or Elden Ring versus Dark Souls or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
You will see how far they go with it for sure. But like, no, the idea that like, okay, at the very minimum, maybe if you don't get a playable Patches, you might be able to get like a Patches helmet, or or
Patches could be a unique event, something like Karen and Hades.
Yeah, maybe you're picking up a Fume Knight Greatsword. You know what I mean? Maybe you're picking up a fucking a legendary weapon that you recognize from a thing, and then that's there too. Like, there's a lot. Like the Moonlight Greatsword's going to be there for sure. Obviously, it's just but like I don't know.
You should have to do something extra to get that fucking sword. Like that can't be dropping out of a chest. Like that must be like kill Seath.
Spend the entire day just getting that thing.
Yeah, and then it fulfills its usual promise.
That would be pretty cool. Oh yeah, no, the arcade rules that we can apply here mean anything's possible. But it was a really fun test. That was great. Good taste for what's going on, and like
that's that. You play a game in this and like this type of limited beta, and I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking stream a lot of this fucking shit.
And I never thought we'd be here playing Smash Brothers roster games in our head with the FromSoft characters.
Because they
Nefelli Moon's coming. Oh my god, it's Nefelli. Like what?
In their very first trailer, they're like, okay, that's the fucking centipede demon, and that's also the, what was his name, Gwyn's kid, the fucking
nameless king.
The nameless king. You're like, all right, well, those are fucking Dark Souls characters. That like he's riding the goddamn dragon in there. So it's like, okay, it could be anybody. It could be anybody. You want to fight 3 Gwyns at once?
Why
not?
Would you purchase Havel DLC?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Give me that. I'll go be Havel.
I'll have another fucking rematch with Artorias. Fuck it. Put me in. Artorias and Sif.
Ornstein and Smoke, and you can each pick one of the two. Okay, Okay, as a boss, certainly. But what if you played as one of each, and then you could fucking
no. The boss would be Artorias, Ornstein, and Smough.
Oh God! At the same time, yeah. No. What would actually happen is Solaire would be who they'd give you.
They'd give you Solaire. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I would say any NPCs that were human, like made within the game engine, have the highest shot, if anything. And
Absolutely.
Then anyone that's like a boss is a boss because their logic already exists.
Well, one of the things they said is that the name of the boss is not the name of the boss that you pick on the character select. So, like, the actual boss's name is like Gladius.
Oh yeah.
But the name of the boss when you select it in the level is Trismegius or some shit. And they said that's intentional.
Yes.
Which to me says that you're going to be picking like Wolf Swordsman, and you're like, well, who can it be?
Yeah.
Anybody.
And then the day 3s are going to change, and then there's going to be like the big final progression points. So, very cool.